My name is Jennifer Johnson, and I'm Public Art Program Manager with Arts Huntsville. In this video today, I'm going to be telling you all about our City Hall Public Art Phase 2 Request for Qualifications. This RFQ is a great opportunity for our local artists, so please stay with me as I walk you through the process every step of the way.
All right, so welcome to our application portal. You can access this site at artshuntsville.slideroom.com. There's also a link at our main website at artshuntsville.org if you go to the public arts section. When you get here, you'll see the splash page that includes a little summary of our public art program and available programs that you can apply to linked here. You can go ahead and sign up for Slideroom, which you're going to need to do when you want to apply. But if you don't want to do that just yet and you just want to browse our programs, you can do that. And today we're going to be talking about City Hall Phase 2 RFQ. So logging in or signing up is a real simple process. If you want to do that, I'll just show you real quick. Real simple sign up process. Those of you who've been to art school may have seen Slideroom before. It's a common portal for art schools and university art programs, but it's also used for public art programs such as this one. So once you're logged into Slideroom, you're going to see a personal portal like this. When there's more calls open, you may see more items listed here. Right now, we just have our first RFQ listed here, our Huntsville City Hall Phase 2 RFQ. So that is what we're going to look at today. So our Huntsville City Hall Phase 2 RFQ is called our Phase 2 RFQ because a year ago, Arts Huntsville released an RFQ for Phase 1. That was a national call. 2 major artists were selected, and now we're releasing Phase 2, which is exclusive to local artists. Local artists are defined as artists that live or work in the Arts Huntsville service area. That service area is defined as within 35 miles of Huntsville, Alabama. So just getting that out of the way because that's the main qualification, along with being 18 years of age or older, to qualify to even consider this. So just keep that in mind. So this is a draft drawing of what the new City Hall is going to look like and just a brief summary of City Hall. And again, reiterating that the basic requirements. For those of you that may be new to this process and don't know what an RFQ is a request for qualifications. And what that means is we're not looking for actual proposals for what the art might look like. Right now, our jury is going to be looking at the qualifications of the artists who are interested in this project. So you're just going to be submitting some items so that the jurors can get an idea of your style, your level of expertise, experience, all of that. So before you begin the application, you may want to review. In fact, we require you to review the complete RFQ, which is a document that you can click on here. And then there's a sample contract as well that you can review for your own purposes here. But right now, we're going to start with looking at the RFQ. So you'll be taken to this PDF document. You can look at it online or print it out if you prefer. This is a summary. We're going to go over it briefly here. But of course, again, you're required to please read this very thoroughly before you apply so you can be sure that you think this project is a good match for your skills, interests, talents. Not every call is going to be of interest to every artist. We do have other opportunities coming up. So if this one doesn't seem to be a good match for what you want to do, just stay posted with what we're doing. So again, here's another rendering of the City Hall. Brief summary going over the deadline for the application, Sunday, July 24th. Just revisiting this address that we took you to. And we're asking questions. If you have questions about this application, just submit those by July 15th. That's to me, Jennifer Johnson, so that I have a chance, ample chance to respond before the application deadline. So the first section you're going to see in the RFQ is background and site information. It gives you a little more information about the new City Hall that's being built. And then there's some information about the award amounts and the 4 locations for which we are selecting artists. Now, again, this is an RFQ, so you are not designing artwork to go in these spots yet at this point in the process. But this is for you to evaluate your your level of interest, whether your work is a good match for these sites. Don't worry just yet about having a particular design in mind for these 4 sites, although of course if you can start thinking in that direction if you're so inclined. But again, just to give you an idea, right now we're looking at your qualifications. So, but this information is definitely useful for your evaluation of whether you want to apply and whether this is a job you'd be interested in getting a commission for. So you can read all the information about that here. The next section we're going to have is our artist selection criteria. As I said earlier in this video, we're looking for artists in the Arts Huntsville service area for this particular project. That could be you residing in Huntsville, or it can be if you have a studio in that service area, that counts as well. And again, it goes over some other details about who's exempt, age requirement, and all that. Here are what we're looking for when we're looking at the qualifications. We're looking at artistic excellence, your demonstrated experience on larger scale projects, because as you can see in that above site information, these are larger areas, so we're going to be, favoring artists who have experience working on larger scales. We're looking for good communication skills, especially like on that CV, which you'll get to when we go to the application forms, that shows experience working with artist teams, design professionals, engineers, any experience like that. Now, if you don't have much or any experience precisely doing that, we are considering this an opportunity for a local artist to kind of onboard into the public art space. So although that will be an evaluation criteria, please don't be discouraged. If you have any questions about this, about how your experience may qualify, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to talk to you about that. We're also looking at the timeliness of your concept and longevity of artwork in terms of materials and maintenance requirements. These pieces are likely going to be in City Hall for a very long time, so that's a factor we're looking at, is your ability to produce work that's going to last, both in terms of the aesthetics and also just practically. Technical feasibility, we're looking at the cost and the time it would take for you to produce this kind of work and weighing that against the realities of the project. And of course, we really want somebody that has a demonstrated ability to deliver a project on time and within budget. Obviously, that's very important. So when you get to the application process further on in Slideroom, you are going to be asked to submit 5 existing works that meet the criteria here. You may have more than 5 works, and that's fine. You are going to have an opportunity, if you have like an online portfolio or a professional artist website, you'll definitely have an opportunity to provide that. So this is 5 curated works that you feel most strongly meet that above criteria and demonstrate something that might fit, communicate as to how your work might fit in those spaces and that site information. So you're really curating 5 artworks here that give the jurying panel a broad view of how your work fits into this project. And then again, later on, you can provide a link to your broader body of work so that the panel can see the bigger picture, but just keeping in mind like 5 works that really highlight why you're a good match for this project. As you get further on into RFQ, it's going to go in design and installation criteria. This is for you to look a little bit forward. If you're selected as a semifinalist, we're going to be selecting up to 14 semifinalists, and each selected semifinalist is going to receive a proposal fee to produce a proposal if they want to proceed. So this information here is for you to look ahead. If you're selected to put together and submit a proposal, the kind of criteria you're going to be held up to then. So this is, again, some information to help you as the artist evaluate whether this project is a good match for you, your abilities, and your interests. That proposal fee will be $1,500. And we're going to have some additional resources for artists who've never been through a proposal process. If you're selected at that point, we'll help walk you through that. And I'm going to be here to answer any questions that you have about moving that process forward. But this is good information for you at this point in the process to kind of see where this is going and whether it's a good match for you. And again, that's going to be 14 semifinalists. Up to 5 will be selected for that council corridor, where it's a larger award and it could be potentially more artworks. And then up to 3 semifinalists for each of those remaining 3 sites. So moving ahead here, it's going to go into the project artwork goals and themes. This is looking ahead to see if this project even matches your areas of interest. And with the anticipated scope of services, all the things you'll be expected to do if you're a selected finalist to actually produce some art. Now, I want to pause here to just encourage you, if this scope of services, or especially if you go and take a look at that sample contract, which we definitely encourage you to do, if it seems a little overwhelming and out of your comfort zone, we don't want you to be discouraged here. We are seeing this project as an on-ramp for some of our local artists that may have never worked in the public art arena. So if you do have concerns, if you're thinking like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm cut out for this, I've never done anything, with this kind of budget or with the level of requirements, and you'll see the contract's quite long. Don't be discouraged. If you have any concerns, please reach out to me. I'll happy to talk you through any questions or concerns you have. And if we don't think you're a good match for it, if we don't think you're quite there yet for this project, we'll be honest with you about that and give you some advice as to how to get there. But there's a lot of you that may think you're not there, and you are. And please talk to me. Reach out. I can walk you through any of the concerns you have. There's a lot of you really talented, capable local artists in this town that may have not done this before, but this is really a great project for you to dip your toe in the water of, even if just worth applying, to go through that process of learning how to get into the world of public art. So don't let this discourage you, but do read through it. Do reach out to me if you have any questions or concerns or doubts. Looking at our anticipated timeline, which is subject to change, we have June 8th, our RFQ, this document released, along with our application portal opening. Artists have until July 24th to submit their qualifications and portfolio materials, and then we have a good window of time for our jurors to review those applications and select semifinalists. By August 31st, semifinalists will be notified, and those who choose to accept will be given an RFP, a request for proposals. That'll be an additional document like this one that goes into more detail about the sites and what we need. And we'll have some additional support materials available for artists who need it at that point. And then on the week of October 24th, semifinalists will be scheduling a time to come and present their proposals. Jurors will have a chance to ask questions, express concerns, and dialogue with the artists. And then by early December, finalists will be notified. That's a generous period of time. Chances are artists are going to be notified earlier than that. Since this is an anticipated timeline, we left some wiggle room in there just in case anything modifies the schedule at all. But we will be notifying artists by December, early December 2022. Then in January, our artists will finalize their contracts. We have that sample contract for you to review. You'll have a more customized contract to you if you're a finalist, and we'll have plenty of opportunity to go over your questions or concerns before you sign that contract. We'll make sure you're very comfortable. And then after your contract is signed, you'll have a full year for design, development, and fabrication with an anticipated installation date of February 2024. This next section here reiterates how to apply. We'll go back to that Slideroom portal again to have a look. What we've made here for you is a checklist. So you'll have a checklist about, that you can kind of prepare all your information in advance if you want before you actually get on Slideroom and start applying. And I don't need to read it all here. You can read all the items. If you do have any question, you can reach out to me, jjohnson@artshuntsville.org. Ask me any questions. I am here for you. And that is pretty much it. All right, so now I'm going to walk you through the Slideroom application process. You've made your account. You have the option to begin your application, and that'll make this make a little more sense down here. So once you've created your Slideroom account and you've clicked on your activation email, and you apply to a call for the first time, you'll be prompted to create your Slideroom profile. You'll only need to do this once, and for most of you, you're going to be doing so as an individual, though there is a group option if you're applying as a team. And you just fill in your basic contact information, but one thing I need to point out here is that remember that most of our local calls do require you to be in the Arts Huntsville service area. And again, that's a 35-mile radius of Huntsville. So if for some reason you do reside outside of that service area, but let's say you have an artist studio at Low Mill, you're going to make sure you want to use your studio address in that situation, or vice versa. If your studio is out in the country somewhere outside that service area and you live in Huntsville, then go ahead and use your home address. And that's an important thing to keep in mind, because that will disqualify you if we can't confirm you're in that required area. So this is an optional section. If you have a pseudonym, if you have an artist pseudonym, please put that here. If you want to be identified that, moving forth media. We ask for brief artist bio. This doesn't have to be, deeply personal. Just, if you want to even throw in a couple sentences, that's fine. You have the option to put in your professional website, which if you do have one, I definitely encourage that you do that. You will have that chance to upload your required pieces for any RFQ, and that's great. But if you have a larger body of work that gives more context, definitely provide that here. The jurors will be looking at that. So right now we have the optional demographics survey that we have here. This is completely optional. This is not viewable by the jurors. This is strictly for administration. We use this for, grant purposes, reporting, internal analysis. For example, if we find, we're only reaching, male artists and we're not reaching a female artist, we can kind of evaluate that and see what we can do to course correct. So again, we encourage you to please fill this out as much as you're comfortable. And if you're not, that's totally okay. You can, even if you fill out, prefer not to answer for everything else, and you let us know how you heard about this public art opportunity, really helpful. So please do consider filling this out. Again, not viewable by the jurors, just for administration purposes only. So now we're getting into the meat and potatoes of the application. These are the required items. You'll have your resume or curriculum vitae, and you'll want to upload that as a PDF. And in that full RFQ document, you'll see all the requirements outlined for that. Same with the letter of interest. So this is the references section. You'll see in the resume requirement that we also ask you to put your references there. I know it's a little bit redundant to put them in two places, but there's some functionality here in Slideroom that if you could just repeat those references there, it's really helpful to us. These should be professional references, and that is all outlined in that RFQ as well. Now here's your portfolio. For most RFQs, for example, for this City Hall one, we're only requiring 5 items. And you're going to add those here. You have a few different options. These are items that you are curating, items that specifically represent how your work is a good match for this particular project. Again, you have that opportunity earlier on in the process to upload your online gallery or your professional artist website. We encourage you to do that. Jurors will definitely look at that to get a view of your overall work. But this kind of gives us those 5 strong items that our jurors can look at to really evaluate how you see yourself and your work fitting into this particular project. So select carefully and go ahead and do that. So here at the end of your application, you see a summary of everything that's required. You can put those in any order at any time. Slideroom will save your progress if you don't do it all in one sitting. So don't worry about doing it all at once. And when you get further on, after you finish it, it's going to prompt you for that $10 application fee. If you are in a position of financial hardship and would like to request a waiver for that application fee, you're welcome to do so. If you want to do so, just pause your application. Don't worry about submitting it. Email me at jjohnson@artshuntsville.org, and I can apply that waiver on the administration end, and I'll email you back, and you can submit it after that, and you won't have to pay the fee. Just to let you guys know, that fee does just pay for our costs to run this software. It saves us a lot of work. So, happy to help you out if you're in financial hardship. That's what that waiver is for. But it's just covering our costs, just so you know why we're charging that fee to begin with. Thank you for watching this video, We hope that you'll apply. Again, if you have any questions, concerns, doubts, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Jennifer Johnson, I'm the Public Art Program Manager. Happy to answer questions. If I don't know the answer, I'll find somebody who does. We're here to help you succeed. We're here to help our local artists access some of these opportunities, and we're here to help you. We want you to succeed. So again, any doubts, concerns, we have an open door policy. Please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you and good luck. We hope to see your artwork soon.